Now, the next part of our bank reconciliation is trying to get our book balance to equal 4871.89. So a lot of times what happens on this side is sometimes we make bookkeeping errors, so we might record a check wrong. A lot of times if there's things that are just going automatically through the bank, whether or not it's a deposit or somebody's taking money out of the bank account, we have to record those. Other things that I see too is interest charges from the bank or service charges from the bank that we have to record into our books. So often, more times than not, there's a lot of transactions that are missing in our accounting system, and we actually don't make them until we receive that bank statement. So again, we're going to make sure that this adjusted book balance equals the 4871.89. But let's start by identifying what I currently have at September 30th in my books for the end of the month for cash. Okay, and again, it's a little bit harder in student life to try and figure out which is the bank statement and which is my balance from my accounting system. But right here, these are also my books. So my ending balance, and I'll just highlight in orange, is 7903.39. So that's my book balance right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put it into the book balance of cash, and that's 7903.39. So I'm just looking on the bank statement now and what I haven't highlighted, and what I see is I have an NSF check for 1176.5. And that's a deduction. So what I need to do is make sure I put that on my adjusted book balance. So that was 1176.5 NSF, and that's going to be a minus. And we need to see who actually that was to. So basically what happened is a customer paid us, and then they didn't have enough funds in their bank account, so it came back to us as NSF. So it'll probably give us more detail down here. It says the NSF check was originally received from a customer, Lisa Willis, in payment of her account. So we'll put her up here, Lisa Willis. And I may as well just add this onto my bank rec right now. Okay, so remember, if it's NSF, it comes out of our account. So we'll do, let's see here, NSF Lisa Willis, and that was the 1176.50. The next item that I have not recorded is interest, this 45. So that's $45 coming into my bank account. So I'm going to have to put that on my books balance. So 45 interest. And let's see if it says anything about that interest down here. Nothing about that, but that's okay. So we'll go ahead and add that 45 interest onto our bank reconciliation. Okay, so I'll just see I have interest earned, and that's money coming into my bank account for $45. And then the next item is this credit memo, and that's for $3,500, and I'm not really too sure what this is about. So each bank rec might be a little bit different. So we're just identifying any items that have gone in and out of the bank account that we haven't put into our books yet. And so they might be completely different items on the next bank reconciliation. So just make sure you're aware of that. So this $3,500 credit memo, let's see what that's for. So the credit memo is the combination of a customer payment, so 3550, and then they took off $50, so the bank charged us $50 for the service fee. So that net amount is just $3,500. So I'll go ahead and move that $3,500 onto my bank reconciliation. Okay, so let's find proceeds less bank service fee, and that's $3,500. You could have also done this slightly differently, is we could have added the proceeds of the electronic funds transfer and then subtracted the bank charges to net out $3,500. But in this case, they only gave us that one option. So now if we actually add this up, so if we take our beginning balance, add what went into our bank account that we haven't recorded in our books, subtract what came out of our bank account and we haven't put it in our books, you'll notice that it still doesn't match that 4871.89. So I'm still missing an item. So you'll notice that I do have everything highlighted or circled on my bank statement. So that means everything went through. But remember when I was doing my balance per bank side and I said this check cleared, but it went through as, what did it go through as? It went through as 9340.55 in my bank statement. So that's a difference. Let's just take the difference. So 9340.55 and minus 3940.55. That's a difference of $5,400. Okay, so I need to know who made the mistake. Did the bank make a mistake or did the bookkeeper make the mistake? And most times it's usually the bookkeeper. So let's just look at the additional information because I don't know if I need to add that difference or subtract that difference. So it says check number 5904 was correctly written for 9340.55 to pay for computer equipment. However, the bookkeeper misread the amount and entered into the accounting records with a debit to computer equipment and a credit to cash as though it were for 3940.55. So the bookkeeper actually under-recorded that. So we need to make this adjustment as a negative. So we need to subtract another $5,400 from our bank balance in order to make it the 9340.55. So I know that could be a little tricky. Another way to do it as well is to just figure out the difference between your adjusted bank balance and what you currently have, and then take the difference, and then most likely that's your adjustment. So we'll go to error on check number 5904 for $5,400. So now if I take my deductions, add them together, and then subtract them from my cash balance and then my additions to cash, we end up with 4871.89. So now that both sides match, I'm perfectly balanced. So now our bank reconciliation balance. The next step after this is I actually have to do journal entries into my accounting system for any items that's on the book side.